This is Reflections Nursery in Worthing. We're registered for 120 children, and we also have a forest school. We take children into the forest 5 days a week. We've been doing that since 2009. We draw inspiration from Reggio Emilia in northern Italy, and have done since we took over the nursery in 2006. When we took over the nursery, it was a very traditional, traditional nursery. And in fact, we threw away about 3 skips full of plastic toys and began the process of bringing in open-ended resources and obviously using community playthings equipment as well. We listen to children, and I guess that's one of the beginning points for the nursery. We begin with the image of the child as a competent and capable learner, and we start listening to children in as many ways as we possibly can. And we work on a project basis with children, so either provoking ideas or listening to their interactions and finding out what they're particularly interested in. And when we do that, children's motivation just explodes, and we follow their interests, supporting their learning and bringing skills in whenever they need. They have a lovely expression in Reggio Emilia, which says that no space could be too beautiful for children. And that's one of the reasons that we've chosen to use community playthings, because they are just so beautifully made. And I think the other thing that we get from community playthings is the fact that their resources and their equipment is so open-ended. It gives us real flexibility. We're responding to children's ideas and project ideas on a daily basis, and our spaces need to be able to do that as well. One of the things that's absolutely critical about our approach is the connection with the outdoors. So we have an edible garden. Children had a conversation about where chips come from, and one of the answers was McDonald's, and so we felt we had to do something that would reconnect them to at least a potato, and if not, not more. So we've created over time. It began with just a few planting tubs, and now we have a whole range of. We've got a greenhouse, we've got raised beds, and we've now had 3 or 4 seasons of harvest where children are planting out by seed and then putting them out into the beds, and then harvesting and literally running around the garden eating a carrot that they've just dug up and washed from the raised beds. So that connection with the outdoors is very important to us, and we've been doing forest school for some time. And the ripple effects from forest back into the nursery and from nursery back to forest, I think, are pretty critical to our approach. What we see is children engaging very deeply with an idea maybe that began in the nursery, and then taking it into the forest and then bringing it back and refining it, so that when children in the nursery wanted, for example, to build a water feature, they began in the garden looking at putting stones and just sticks and logs together, using bricks to dam water, and then they went into the forest, encountered water in a big way because there are huge puddles everywhere, and they were building in the forest as well. And then they also noticed some bracket fungus in the forest, and were pouring water down these bracket fungi. And they brought back the idea of the bracket fungus as a design for their water feature. And we now have a water feature that features water cascading down several levels, just like it did in the forest through the bracket fungus. And I think those things, those lovely connections between the outdoors and the indoors, are what we're all about.